are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, ULTI.TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and fund our work
to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
We are Hive Ultimate, a group of players and coaches from all over the world working together to progress the next generation of Ultimate strategy. We've helped top teams win world championships and new teams introduce the sport in a fun and inclusive way. Search for Hive Ultimate on YouTube to learn more about our cutting-edge strategies and to see analysis of world-class teams. To find out what Hive can do for your team, head over to our Patreon page where you can gain access to our exclusive drills and session plans and to join our worldwide community of coaches. Get ahead of the curve with Hive Ultimate.
Enjoying the show? Show your support for the live stream and the people making the show. Buy a super chat or super sticker on YouTube directly. Select your donation and type your message to the world. And share. All donations go into directly funding new shows. Buy a super sticker or super chat now. Thank you.
Real quick sprints, take the disc briskly, sunshine glints off my frisbee crisply, knows how it goes with the sand between our toes. We got both of the pivots and all of the throws. Got to hold the disc and move it at the right time. When you flick your wrist and you're feeling sublime, compose your throws, not discuss fluttery, tricks from the brick and your biscuits buttery. Feel the spirit, stretch every sinew, stream in courage, yeah, we continue. Take my hand, yeah, come with me, from the disc to the sand, to the beach, to the sea. There's magic in the air. All you have to do is catch it. EBUCC 2022.
Welcome back to the European Ultimate Beach Club Championships 2022. Commiserations if you were looking for Calisets versus Hux from Copenhagen. We have Tequila Boom Boom from Italy versus YAKA from France. Myself, Hannah Penderby, joined by the inimitable Rahel Toshnerova on the call with you for this women's quarter-final matchup between these two very talented teams. So Rahel, how are you feeling about this game?
I have no idea, Hannah. I'm sure everyone's really glad to have their favorites unprofessional, semi-professional on the mic. But I have to tell you, I am playing mixed division at this tournament, so unfortunately I will have very, very little insight on these women's teams, but I will do my best to work my way through the results so far throughout the game to get you a bit more background information.
Well, and talking about the previous results, Tequila Boom Boom have only played 2 games so far this entire championship.
What a way to make this tournament a nice vacation for themselves. Because they don't get enough beach in Rimini.
No, absolutely not. You know, this is definitely not their surface at all. They're so used to playing on grass, obviously. But YAKA were at the Beach Championships in France a few weeks ago. One of their stars, Rasta Alimondio, is carrying a bit of an injury, but of course her excellent physio has taped her up, allowed her to do some exercises, and coming out on defense, it's the players in red of YAKA. So Tequila Boom Boom's first opportunity to show us what they can do with disc in hand. They're a very young team. The average age is less than 20. They've got some 15-year-olds, smattering of 16, 17, 19, and the eldest on their squad is 28. So an easy one to begin with, finding the very limmy Nicole Lafatiate. And thinks about the deep shot, but just moves it around the back. This is all open side play for Tequila Boom Boom. Akalanji looking around, can't see much in the way of a reset. Thinks about squeaking it, just puts it onto the soft side, but what a diss that is! A high stall release, Nicole Lafatiate for the first goal.
Arcangeli, absolutely undisturbed by the lack of options that she was having towards the disc or the reset that was pretty well covered by YAKA. She just winds up, finds that open space, and her receiver is right there for it. This was an upwind throw. We are having a bit of a sidewind going from right to left. Let's see the replay one more time. She's like, nope, there ain't no reset for me. There is the open space. That's the person whose defender has been facing the wrong way. And a beautiful first clean hold for Tequila.
In American football, Rahel, they talk about how quarterbacks have the ability to read the plays on the field. And it's not just about what you see when you first look up. It's about the second, third, fourth scenes you can see developing, all of the different options. And that was visionary. So YAKA now coming out on offense. Rasta, Ali Mondiaux in the middle. Nice give and go movement, has momentum, takes the shot. That is a beautifully weighted disc, but hot pressure from Tequila. Boom Boom's gonna deny it. Boom Boom indeed. The block from Carmen Lagala.
Yeah, Lagala definitely one of the players to look out for. She's picked up with Cusp previously. She's known as a very dangerous tall receiver for Italian squads. This time she gets the defensive effort right.
Indeed, and having played for that Cusp Shout team at EUCF, she's familiar with this opposition in red. As the first opportunity for a break gets squandered by an overshow, trying to hit Elena Ubanati. But Mondiaux picking up the disc. Part of the game plan for Tequila. Boom Boom must be keeping it out of her paws, but she throws a super easy goal. Underneath comes Melanie Elbe, and that is the first on the board for YAKA.
So a little bit of a hiccup on that deep throw. YAKA sort of trying out their options to see if the Italians will be there up for the challenge. Turns out they are, but trying to go slow and take the disc around the handlers wasn't really doing the trick on the defensive line offense. And YAKA hold as well. You could almost think that this would be a battle of younger versus older roster, but we have found out for you that YAKA have two, we can say pickups, I believe, to their roster. They're coming from the club Jet, which is on the west coast of France, and they are pretty young, so been doing a lot of running.
Indeed, and that's Elisa Assi, the number 82, and Florine Goulot, the number 83. So if they've got an 8 at the beginning of their number, apart from 81, they're quite young and rapid, so expect them to be dominating out here on this surface. Albani swings across. Static downfield. Albani again coming out. Lovely inside backhand break to La Fiata, who's going to open up a big one into the center of the end zone using the expanse of her wings. And Maria Bartasini for the score.
So YAKA coming out in a force middle matchup D there. Again, absolutely no disturbing of the Italian offense. They went through the open side with short passes. They went through the break side with longer gainers. And you'll see the opening first high grab. Here is the nice inside backhand. And this is such a difficult throw. This was a downwind throw. And to hit that so precisely, props to the Italians. Clearly very much used to windy conditions on the beach.
But there were moments of pause in that offense. YAKA are there, they're applying pressure. And of course these two teams, regardless of the perhaps a little bit of a crossover from the grass outfits in terms of YAKA having played against Cusp Shout, generally speaking, these two don't get to play against each other on sand certainly very often.
Absolutely. YAKA were also saying with Tequila Boom Boom, you just never know who they bring. It's slightly different.
And we've got a chat about hand signals. The hand signal is actually just a single arm in the air now. Previously it was a clap overhead, but now it's just the one arm up. But we're playing on some perhaps old versus new hand signals confusion.
Ooh, but who is actually defending? I think it looks... Oh, and now they want to check the screen to see who signaled what. That's why it's sometimes useful to accompany the hand signals with a little shout as well. Ooh, discussion's getting heated.
It's one of those very bizarre things of I don't think anybody is going to say that you're not going to break that ball. What was the signal that was made there?
Rasta picked up the disc and, yeah. Couldn't really tell you, but she's one of the handlers that does not really care whether she will start from the sideline or from the middle of the field.
Yeah, to be fair, sacrificing the brick space doesn't really make the biggest difference in the world to Ali Mondiaux. She's very good with the disc, and indeed part of any good defense's game plan should be keeping it out of her arms. She is going to put a disc out to absolutely nobody but the defense, though, playing a little bit for yards perhaps after the frustration of that call.
Lagala now gets a bump in the back, but she holds on to the disc.
There is masses of separation, though, perhaps exploiting the advantage over Rasta having that injured ankle, but not taken. A little stoppage.
Foul call based on the hand signals. I think one of the handlers might have pushed off as she was taking off towards the reset space.
Which is easily done on beach. It's very difficult to maintain your core and your balance on the unpredictable changing powder beneath. But
and
another foul, yep. Looks like there was another push-off there. Bit of a battle between Ariana Ascari.
I can relate, though. Being sort of a lightweight myself, it's so hard to gain the momentum and the quick start. I don't really have that, so using my arms a lot and sort of swinging them sideways can sometimes help. So that's when the contact sometimes can occur when the defender stands really close, and then they just, yeah, take a hit.
Well, Natalia Bocanegra is wearing a face mask to prevent any knocks to her face, so perhaps one of those, oh, I'll tell you what, that's Rasta for days. An inspiration to short players everywhere, but the stall out is going to be called and uncontested, accepted by the looks of it. So I don't really like using the uncontested verbiage. In what other context do you really use uncontested, apart from an uncontested pass where there's no defense around? So, well accepted by Lagala. The hot defensive pressure of YAKA generates the turn after they threw it away to nobody. Mondiaux picks up, immediately takes the poached off reset. Good flow, Hébert. Around to Mondiaux, a pick's gonna be called, but that will be retracted immediately. An overshot, trying to hit the handler. Lagala, oh, nearly snuck away with it. Di Lauro unflustered. The lefty throws the around. Ascari throws it high. I don't think she stopped trying to attack that disc, so perhaps a retraction of that call if it was a pick.
Didn't quite catch how when the call was made, so if it was significantly earlier and there were more people that stopped playing.
Well, of course, a key difference to the rule set is that you do these days, it might not have been me a decade ago, but these days you do have to run down the disc, so that is going to stand as a turnover.
Still great defensive pressure from Tequila, really using their legs to keep tight and forcing, yeah, turnovers like these, and now they're really close to their own end zone. Lagala immediately picks up the disc.
Wearing some sort of dinosaur themed cap, which I'm a big fan of. But this is a golden opportunity. Can they make the most of it? Borga across, puts a leader. Well reeled in by Lianerdini. Lefty backhand into the sky, just about collected. That worked out somehow. And that is the first break of the game to Tequila Boom Boom. And Lagala coming up good.
Definition of cheeky, Hannah. You can really tell that Tequila Boom Boom is relying on Lagala to really power their D-line offense. She was getting every second disc. There was always a nice continuation almost for every pass they got forward, but they just immediately kind of looked for her as the reset, maybe to just posit more of a threat, knowing that her throws can be big and she can kind of put them anywhere, but ends up with her on the disc in the end zone. Good for Tequila.
Oh,
here's the catch one more time.
Talk about a Frisbee CV, Rahel. The national experience of Carmen Lagala playing for the Italian women's outfit. Through the junior programs, under 17s in 2016, under 20s in 2017, under 20s in 2018, and in 2019. Then moving to the under 24s division with a just the one appearance pre-COVID. But my goodness, what a talented young individual rising through the Rimini, not Bologna side of the Italian junior program. So someone who's perhaps a little bit less youthful throws the one into traffic. Nanu Leborgne with the error there, sort of throws her arms around saying, what on earth happened? Didn't attack the disc, but the Italian certainly did. Tequila Boom Boom 2 on the bounce.
2 in a row. Works out great for Tequila. I think there was a little slip on that undercut from YAKA, allowing the defender to intercept that pass. And no wonder that there will be a little timeout from YAKA, who now kind of know what Tequila Boom Boom might be going for in this game. They have felt the opponent out, and now we'll see if they can find an answer. Because they were saying, obviously, they're not the most experienced beach team, but they are experienced in general. And they also said, well, we don't like to lose, we like to win. So, yeah, that's how you get far in tournaments.
Well, I'll tell you
YAKA
what.
also with one less person on the roster.
Indeed, and it might be making a difference, but probably more the fact that Tequila Boom Boom have only had the 2 games.
Whereas YAKA had 4, yeah.
Indeed, double the duty, but still hanging tough and plenty left to play as the teams on the field take a break, as will we. We'll be back after these messages.
We are Hive Ultimate, a group of players and coaches from all over the world working together to progress the next generation of Ultimate strategy. We've helped top teams win world championships and new teams introduce the sport in a fun and inclusive way. Search for Hive Ultimate on YouTube to learn more about our cutting-edge strategies and to see analysis of world-class teams. To find out what Hive can do for your team, head over to our Patreon page where you can gain access to our exclusive drills and session plans and to join our worldwide community of coaches. Get ahead of the curve with Hive Ultimate.
Don't want to miss anything?
There are loads of tournaments happening, which you can attend either as a player or a spectator. You can find them on ULTI.TV, link in the description.
First half of this women's quarter-final matchup between YAKA of France, La Loisine Sec, and Tequila Boom Boom of Rimini, Italia. At the moment, Tequila Boom Boom 3 on the bounce. Boom Boom indeed. Leading 4-1 over their opponents. But a timeout, a brief moment of repose. And what would you have said in that circle?
I think they might need to come up with something better than just match D. Try to startle the young squad, who are very much there and ready to run. They're sticking with their D-line so far. But YAKA need to score first.
They certainly do. This is nice flowing movement. Mondiaux turning to take the open side. Oh, what a dish and a leap into the end zone. That is more like it. This is how we do it. Claudia Matas with the goal.
An important hold for YAKA. In this direction, a nice high release, righty forehand or lefty backhand really is your friend. YAKA exploiting the break side, moving sideways throughout their offense, all the way from the further sideline to the closer one. There you see the horizontal movement. They find their best handler, who is there for the break. Tequila Boom Boom, they know about it, they put their hands up high, but that one is practically undefendable. Great grab in the air, and they land just in front of the end zone, as in the front of the end zone.
Well, one of the key things in terms of trying to shut down the offense of YAKA, we know that Tequila Boom Boom are trying to do, is do a bit of force middle, try and confuse and cluster the space behind so not behind, in front of the disc, and obviously put the poachers there to try and collect. But that was a really good throw against the FM look of Mondio, who's of course the stats leader for YAKA, currently 18 on the tally. All of them assists, none of them goals yet. But the young target of Florin Gulio, the Jet player, is second on the stats board. There was a bit of a signal for a pick-up field, but nothing seems to have happened in terms of the play. A high dish on a high stall. Thinks about the big put. Holsters. Spinning around. Oh, huge pressure, and it leaves the space wide open, but it's an overshot. La Fiata with too much juice after the hot pressure of Lisa Assier.
I think Tequila would have preferred to do it the other way around. Arcangeli throwing that disc, and La Fiata on the receiving end. Not just talking about the height difference, but really Arcangeli has been doing loads for this Tequila Boom Boom offense in the handler space. Now we see a little bit of poaches maybe. No, they tighten up as YAKA approach the front of the end zone.
The stack very far away. Bocanegra given acres of room on the under, but smart play in the middle. Good moving around from the defense. I like this. Just allowing that flat movement. The distance between the marks of this sort of semi-zoney, saggy look. Bocanegra resets to Le Borgne. And you can see the loose marks really trying to stop those underpasses, but that is going to sail into acres of room just at the back of the end zone. My goodness, the placement on that throw, Rahel.
First break for YAKA. I don't know what to say about that throw. I don't think anyone expected it to hang so long. That's why the defenders sort of slowed down and didn't even try to go there. But it was hanging so long that there could have been so many more people coming to collect that. But great for YAKA keeping the eyes on the disc. Yeah, let's see the replay one more time.
Who chucked that? Because that was insane. Because I thought when that went up, I was like, for me, Rachel, I was like, that's going to sit and hang for such a long time. Look at those defenders streaking deep, coming in. But it just had enough power on it to really sail into the perfect pocket.
In fairness to the Tequila Boom Boom defenders, they were going force middle the entire way, and they were doing a good job. So this was a break side throw, so no wonder the defender couldn't really get there on time.
Absolutely. And who threw that?
Couldn't
tell you.
Yeah,
I'll have to watch it back on VT.
Our screen's way too dark in the sun here.
Although it is very pleasant being on top of the booth, there are few places I'd rather be than sat right next to you, Rahel, in Portimão this fine day.
Agreed. It is one of the windiest games, I would say, we've had so far, or else it's just really windy up here in the commentary booth. But here's Tequila with a deep shot of their own.
La Fiata hangs it on a rope, and it's going to be pulled down by her teammate. How did she do it?
Very cute, very cute. That almost looked like it was gonna catch her off guard and was gonna sail right over her head. But she knew that her defender was right behind her and was able to get up just high enough to make that last second grab. Clean hold for Tequila. Well, in any case, great stuff from YAKA, staying in this game, getting the first break. We're playing very short games, so yeah, one more time. She made that grab very much behind her.
She's so tiny, and she jumps so high. Fantastic.
Yeah, so we said very short games here in Portimão, only 45 minutes. So you cannot lag too far behind at the start of the game, which YAKA is very much aware of. So good for them to get that one break back early, and I'm sure they will try to even out the score before the half has gone. They are, of course, now in the slightly more difficult position of moving upwind. However, if there is one team that should be accustomed or I believe YAKA is probably one of the teams with the best throwing abilities on the European scene, so upwind should actually maybe suit them even better than downwind.
Absolutely, it almost favors them, doesn't it?
Tequila Boom Boom sticking with that forced middle defense with a poach in the open side. Foul called.
Yeah, it's still the right look, although I think it'd be nice to see them change the rhythm a little bit on the defense.
On the other hand, they know they've got the legs for days. They've got the advantage of less games, so maybe tiring them out, not too bad of an idea.
Well, absolutely. It's I'm not sure they should throw a zone, but it's more just changing the look of the defense, changing where the force is, changing the angles. You know, those subtle differences that keep the rhythm moving. So it's nice, just give and go, just slowly nibbling the yards. Richon and Le Borgne coming through. Golo, the young jet, second stats leader only to Mondiaux. But now the poaching off those handlers starting to come unstuck because of the better spread of the players.
Yeah, I would love to see them just go for it maybe once, kind of bait that horizontal pass and then just try to defend it. But they're sticking with their tactics of poaching the open side, even though there hasn't been that many passes there. But now they switch to one side, they force forehand, there's an upline cut!
Oh, and well held by Le Borgne. She just uses the disc like a tambourine to celebrate that one. Striking through, hot pressure from the defense though, and great bid.
Great patience and calm from YAKA. No wonder we've been talking about some national experience on the Italian side, but this French YAKA team, so many national teams, I don't think we could count the amount of times that these players have represented their country, let alone the World Games. Mondiaux, of course, being a central handler for the French squad.
And we were treated to seeing both the Bourneau sisters in the previous women's live stream game. Unfortunately, they didn't quite have the same level of personnel required to best their opponents in that one, so they're in the 9 to 16 bracket.
But on the other hand, excellent to see other French team develop, as YAKA have been quite up high there in the elite section of women's European Ultimate. On the other hand, they aren't getting any younger, which is completely fine. But
well, that's the beautiful thing about beach though, Rahel. You can continue playing beach for a long time because it's very forgiving in terms of surface, but that was no forgiving at all.
Great run through from Rasta.
Have to be praying at the altar of Frisbee to try and get that back. That's going to sit and hang, so much backspin on it, but taken away by the defense very well indeed. The block for Sofia Albani and the disc going into the end zone. Mondiaux underneath it, doesn't have the speed. Maria Battistini with the goal for Tequila Boom Boom.
Again, great put upwind. I think that previous one from Rasta just slipped off her fingers as it left the hand a little bit awkwardly and kept hanging. Tequila Boom Boom giving the receiver no chance on it. Two players surrounding the red jersey, getting it right back. We're at 6-4. Tequila Boom Boom 1 point away from the half, and I would be surprised if their coaches wouldn't put on their best 5 defenders. We see 2 male coaches on Tequila Boom Boom side. One of them, I believe, I saw featured at the Joint Junior Ultimate Championship for the Italian female squad. Couldn't tell you if it was the under-17s or under-20s. In any case, involved in Junior Ultimate. On YAKA side, we have also 2 male coaches. One of them a former Is No Good player. And here is the potentially last pull of the first half, if Tequila can get the break.
Well, is it going to be another slow advance towards the end zone? 3 handlers back presently. Matthias with some dynamic movement. Le Borgne now does have the shot available downfield. Doesn't like the height mismatch though with La Gala just hovering around in the deep space. Who continues to hover. Would have been nice to see Gulio sort of staying in that underspace poached off, but she's quickly replaced by Richon. Le Borgne now across, hitting that middle, just taking that forced middle under. Not quite the sharpest turn for Delaunay to look for the options upfield. Oh, a high zesty release and just takes it away from the laying out defender. Great bid from Borga, but well kept.
YAKA stay alive in the first half. Again, we saw the transition from Tequila going from forced middle to forcing one side. In the last defensive point, it was forehand. This time they go for a backhand, but they forget to put up that right hand, and a very easy high release backhand for the score despite the tight defensive pressure on the cut. Way too easy, but great calmness from YAKA. Ready to throw as many passes as necessary. Really not rushing anywhere, not taking any risky decisions, and that
I don't know. That high release from Matthias for the goal, I would say that is not exactly 100% there. I mean, she executed it very well, but I think if there had been an extra sort of couple of inches on the defender's height, that would have been snaffled up. But I love it. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love it.
So a bladey pull lands in the end zone of Tequila as they move upwind this time.
Akalanji looking for options, goes for the inside release. Lafiata using the wingspan. Oh, and that's a beautiful shot. It's going to have to be run down, but there's time and space for Battistini, and that is half for Tequila. Boom, boom, 7-5.
Battistini doing a chunk of work for Tequila. That is a third score for her this game. She just knows her way around the end zone.
It's like she's studied it. She knows every granule of sand and she's named them all. The one she just fell on to catch that goal, because, you know, it was the one that hit her right pinky. His name's Frederick, I believe.
It all started with a big opener from Arcangeli, who actually had a wide open receiver in the open side, but just decided to give it a casual pass and just go through the break side, which opened up the field so nicely for the continuation play.
Well, I tell you what, this Tequila Boom Boom squad love their low release flicks.
So Arcangeli is only 160 centimeters tall and currently lives in Warsaw, where she gets some good practice with the Polish teams, I'm sure. And she started playing Ultimate because they had a lesson at school and she became interested. And also, apparently her parents played Frisbee when they were young.
Yeah, it was only at school that she picked up the sport. Curious. But it's nice to see the next generations of players coming through. The women's division and the mixed division, of course, are the future of Ultimate, because we're the only ones that can reproduce, those of us with wombs. Although, of course, there are people that identify as other identities that they are capable of doing so. But generally speaking, I like to make the joke, Rahel, of women's is the future of Ultimate. Because, you know, the number of Masters teams that have more than replicated themselves.
Also great to see that there are some female sporting heroes for these young ladies. Arcangeli's hero is Barbara Bondi, aka Bobby, who is simply the best as a coach and as a player.
So a big expansive around is going to be well reeled in by Mondio. Oh, that's a beautiful release, but it's going to be taken away by the defense, picked off by Ariana Ascari.
That was a wild shot. It had the speed, it had the right spin and direction, but
just
it wasn't the best
height.
Yeah, not quite the height maybe.
Needed to pop over the top of Ascari. So Lagala opens up an absolute ripper. Look at the separation between those two, but actually it might well be. Oh yes, just enough pressure from Mondio. Little chat between those two prevents Federica Borga from getting that next one, and that of course would have been a break. Audrichon calling her players towards her, saying, I'd like you all to be a little bit closer please to open up that deep space. Le Bon immediately cutting and being hit. Like that intention. Now, is that going to be too much? Yes, it is. Sailing out of bounds just in front of our cameras, but a foul being called, which is not that surprising, to be honest. That certainly wasn't where Le Bon wanted to throw it. It's going to be accepted by the mark of Elisa Liardini. So on the second asking, after that brief pause, no one seemed to be moving. Richon going up line, around to Mondio. No layout required from her, but her mark tries. This is looking a tiny bit hesitant. Nice one around. Oh, good giving and going, but nobody running upfield. That would have been perfect power position. Le Bon coming under. Lagala can't do anything to try and steal the disc away. Lovely release from Le Bon. That's gorge. Natias was initially available. It's going to have to just chuck it and hope. Just putting it into the space. Oh, just over the top of Audrey Shaw. The stall out is called. There's not going to be any disagreement, I don't think, on that. But what a shame. Perhaps YAKA looking a little bit gassed out there.
And I don't think that's doing them, that's serving them a lot, because having a lot of turnovers and tiring out their offense, they do get the Ds, but you know how much longer they can keep going. In any case, I wanted to point out, did you know that Nanou Le Bon has been playing for 12 years, but actually started playing when she was 30? She was a gymnast before that. And when she tried Ultimate at a training, she just fell in love with the sport. So I just wanted to point out that she's been, she started off as a receiver, just like a lot of these players. Ooh. Now she is there to pick up the disc once more for YAKA. So she started off as a receiver, being a very, very much of a favorite target for Mondio in the end zone. But in the recent years, we've seen her move into the handler space. And she's been doing so well. I think it's very impressive when somebody who starts playing a bit later, doesn't start at a young age, and still is able to develop very good throwing technique. She looks like a natural.
Well, perhaps it is that gymnastic capability. She works extremely hard to stay in peak physical condition. If you ever watch her if you ever watch her Instagram, she's always doing cool challenges. During the lockdown, she was doing that whole, like, I'm going to be upside down and sort of a headstand, handstand kind of dealio, and completely changed my outfit. Just showing what an incredible athlete she is. Known by the nickname Nanou, nearly the run-through block there. A little bit of movement on that one. The travel is indeed going to be called on the legs of Carmen Lagala. No one downfield realised it was happening. What a grab, but unfortunately that one is going to come all the way back.
So really the only issue I have with Nanou is her very, very old school electronic cigarette that I see her smoking at every elite tournament, giving my younger players that I try to set a good example for the worst example possible.
Well, if we're going to talking about smoking, I've never seen quite so many athletes light up after a game as the Italians. But at the moment, it's going to be a bit of a hospital pass into the end zone, but it works out, and that is the break to start half for Tequila Boom Boom.
And like we said, very, very painful for YAKA. They kept getting, they got the disc back 3 times, I believe, but you know, the 4th time, the Italians are eventually going to keep putting up these difficult passes that are kind of unexpected for an experienced team that would be hoping for something a bit more standard or maybe calmer-ish.
Well, we didn't get quite the same exact play, but it is another score off of a very big pass indeed. That one under a cluster of players. Lagala opening up a huge ripper of a backhand.
Kind of putting it into the wind, letting it hang, and trusting her receivers to get the better position.
Yeah, a real dogfight in the end zone. An aerial battle.
Less than 10 minutes left of game time. Tequila Boom Boom still up by 3. They have secured some very early breaks right at the start of the game. YAKA managing to get one of them back, but Tequila don't seem like they want to let this one slip.
But still could happen. 3-point games. just a case of taking the opportunities, because there have been opportunities for YAKA. They haven't been shut completely out as Janina comes underneath. Look at the yards being given right now. There is space available upfield, but not taken. Holstered instead. Janina's going to have to take the easy tiny pass. Look how close that force is from Lagala. Breathing over. But Janina says nothing of it and allows the play on. Lagala with disc in hand. Is she going to release a huge one again? Nope. Looking around for the reset.
It is a fresh 5 for YAKA, so they should be able to keep up on defense, whereas this is a defensive 5 for the Italians, and they've been on the field for quite some time.
Lagala surveying the options, going to have to chuck it in hope. It goes up into the air. Oh, and it's just sent the fall over catch. Ariana Ascardi with the goal. Tequila Boom Boom advance themselves. 9-5 now, extending and opening the lead. Plenty of daylight.
Ariana Ascari, only playing for 2 years so far, makes her presence felt in the end zone with the falling over catch, and allows me to have my little star moment on the stream because she filled out her player survey in Italian. Playing history, why did you start? Perché con il Covid avevano bloccato pallavolo il mio sport precedente, perciò ho iniziato a giocare ad Ultimate. I guess she started during COVID, people. So if amici e parenti are watching at home, we would like to say hello. And it seems
ciao.
like,
Ciao.
Or ciao, exactly. And it seems like there is a little timeout on the field.
So as the players take a break to grab themselves some well-earned refreshment under the hot Portugal sun, so will we. We'll see you after this. Back in the action for the second half of this women's quarter-final matchup, where Tequila Boom Boom are starting to expand their lead. Those 2 breaks that they took in the first half responded well to it, did YAKA. They got one back. At the moment, though, it's the Boom Boom all the way. But to give you an update of the other games going on, Casaletes of Valencia versus Copenhagen Hux is currently at half-time. 7-5, so a very similar lead, but a slower-paced game than the one in front of us. Valkyria 6-3 up over Seagulls, and E6 have very close to demolishing Icenia 11-6 their lead. So the Swedes looking pretty fine, but at the moment it's YAKA on the charge, not taking on the deep shots. They're just looking for those unders, slightly dialed in, but Mondiaux now happy to do it. Nanu, but taken away by Lagala. I'm not sure if that bounced out of the receiver or if there was some sort of block there, Raquel. But Lagala's going to take it on. There isn't really the separation. That's going to fade in a bad way out of the field.
And I don't think they mind too much. Honestly, they're going upwind at this stage and chucking it as far as they can, making YAKA work the whole length of the field. It's definitely a good idea. They're really working the tiredness of these French legs, and it's paying off so far.
I mean, to be honest, with a bit of wind on the beach when it's hard to run, playing for yards isn't the worst idea in the world. Le Bon pops to Mondiaux. There is the ability to chuck it deep. From here, I wouldn't mind it so much, but chooses Matios instead. Matios moves forward. Again, the disc consistently in the hands of Aline Mondiaux, who has thrown some as much as she's thrown them back. Oh, the bid's there, but it's just a little too far. Emma Delaunay unable to collect.
Yeah, YAKA definitely looking quite tired, whereas the Italians, with that big lead, seem very much pumped up and ready to play. But if you've only joined, you might be interested to know that these Italians have so far only enjoyed 2 games at this tournament, as opposed to YAKA's 4.
Yeah, all things considered, obviously there's the mental G'ing up you have of being in the lead by 4 points, but look at that block! Oh my goodness, Aude Richon! Yes, please. Getting the disc back for her team. Mathias now. Is it going to be Richon for double happiness? Oh yes, it is Aude Richon for the goal.
Bookends for Richon. She has been the star of many women's and mixed teams on the national side for France. She is usually very much the handler and very much the thrower, but this time she is showing her defensive capabilities, really baiting that throw towards the middle, putting her body on the line to get the D and the disc back for YAKA. We'll see that one more time. This is a nice opener. They kind of left the person open in the middle, and Richon just lays out, makes sure that disc hits the ground, and then she just waits for the right opportunity and continues into the open side. Is wide open, and the double happiness is hers.
It's something that you'll notice when you watch a lot of Beach Ultimate play. Tendencies in grass and indoor tournaments, not so many blocks on the swing passes, the resets, and generally it's because you are setting up a cut, whereas on beach, a lot of the time you've got the separation to not have to move much or just move away from the defender ever so slightly. But it does leave that ability. If you are hungry for a block, getting one on a reset is yours for the taking. So a zone look from YAKA. I think the first we've seen on it is they're coming out on defense, trying to do something a bit different and change the rhythm. Crashing in. This is nice. Style count rising, pinning them to that far sideline. Can they? They throw a nice reset low. Faking the big shot, choosing the around. This is good dynamic movement from Tequila Boom Boom, keeping it moving, although getting a bit stuck now. Nice one up the line to Albani. He's going to open up a backhand and a good snag in style. Federica Borga puts another on the board, and we're double digits for the Italians.
Just straight up great performance from the Italians, really. We saw lots of communication among the handlers, always signaling that they're open, making sure that there's no crazy risky passes throughout the cup. They took it around several times. Then Arcangeli took the liberty of just getting a huge gainer down the far sideline. We saw that there. And then another pass into the end zone. They're not afraid to put their body on the ground. Almost every catch is sort of like a one-handed thing, either a layout or sort of a flying catch.
Yeah, it's sort of it doesn't look casual, but I think it's that thing of just luck is currently favouring Tequila Boom Boom. You know, those one-handed grabs that a lot of people, you know, it can become maybe more of a 50-50 situation. But our producer Will is very fond at the moment of saying Araka Boom Boom Boom. Let me hear you say Tequila. And it might be that chant. Seeing the Italians advance. The Rimini players, who of course get so much time on sand, but YAKA will have something to say. So, but Aude Richon with a complete lack of focus error. Short field opportunity for the Italians. Oh yes, that is beautiful stuff. 11-6. And I think we heard the whistle go in that one, so game to 12.
Rimini just marching their way into the women's semis. What a way to take the game in style.
Not yet. Whistle goes in that point. Add one. Game to 11.
Yeah, game to 12.
Sorry,
no?
12.
12, yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
No, marching. Sort of like they're marching. They're not there yet, but they're marching. No?
Yeah, game to 12, sorry. I'm going mad, But yeah, we didn't take the game. No, the game's not done yet.
Game's not done yet, but they're marching strong, and they really look like they want it. Yeah, I don't, as much as I would love to commentate on a tighter game, I really don't think there is much YAKA can do at this stage. Like we said, short games and poor starts don't really go that well together. In any case, YAKA with once more the difficult task to move upwind. I would bet my, pants, sunglasses? I'm not really wearing any of these. So something that Tequila are just gonna get another break and finish strong in this women's quarters. Big pull from La Gala.
Yeah, I think when they watch this one back, YAKA will have some moments of thinking, oh, if only we'd done it slightly different. They've had some flashes of brilliance as they swing it around. It just hasn't been quite the magic. Mondio has taken some things and given them away. I think her tally is a little bit on the favour, but there we go, exactly that. Those little moments where just things haven't come down in their favour. I see it with the drop. And Tequila, boom, boom. Just throwing yards, but taking some resets now, being a bit more conservative. Wanting to throw this one out. Ascari, who's been brilliant this game with the reset. No one seems to want to cut downfield. La Gala just deciding, all right, enough of this. I'm going to go for it. That is surely a goal. No, it's not. What a way to end it that would have been.
Well, in fairness, another great option by the Italians. They were looking pretty startled on offense. There weren't that many cuts. It was clear that they were going to look for La Gala. She didn't feel like doing any more in-cuts, as her defender knew as well, and stayed very, very tight on her. And that deep option looked great at the start, and it hit the corner just as intended, but unfortunately a little out of reach for La Gala. One more chance, Mondio walking the disc to the front corner.
Well, updates from around the field shortly, I'm sure, on the other women's quarterfinals, but at the moment it's YAKA fighting to keep the dream alive. Le Bon has Janina just hanging around in front. It's gonna have to choose something a bit different. Yep, eventually she comes in. Forgetting her earlier error, throws the reset. Does the young Jet star, who's been all over the stats board, Matthias. Oh, and going towards the back of the end zone eventually. Matthias to Le Bon for a connection.
And I have just lost my pants and sunglasses. I don't think that switch to one side defense, which was the backhand side, was the greatest options by Tequila there, because once these great throwers have an open backhand with the wind coming sort of towards the camera, I think they could have done anything with the disc, and they did just that. Just a couple of straight, flat passes. It only took 2 to make it all the way into the end zone. 12-8 currently the score. No, 11-8?
11-8.
11-8, and we're playing to 12.
So as this one runs into overtime, we're going to lose Doshnerova, who has to go and do some playing under this hot Portuguese sun, but we will be with you for the last few moments of this match. 11-8. Or 11-7, who knows? But either way, YAKA fighting to keep this half alive. A few moments longer in this game. I can see that some of the other quarterfinals have indeed finished up. Bring you those results at the close of this match. A slicer through the inside. Oh, one into space. Can that be picked off? No, it cannot. And bit of a poach off, and it's going to be goal and game for Tequila. Boom, boom. You can see the players on the pitch falling to their knees in celebration. The effort that had to be put into that match to best YAKA by the margin they did was huge. And it just seemed like YAKA played well, but just not near the end zone. But hey, anything could happen. Some fantastic, expansive play from the Rimini side. Commiserations to YAKA, who will be playing for 5th as their maximum, but advancing through the championship bracket, it is the players of Rimini. So bringing you some of the other results as we have them. It was a scintillating finish for Casalettes versus Copenhagen Hucks. We expected the Valencian team to perhaps come through with another 13-something finish, which was the way they rolled through their pool stages. E6 managed to best Icenia 39 in the end. Valkyria, I believe, were leading against Seagulls, so that might be them going through. But we'll bring you results across the divisions as we have them. But that's it for this women's quarter-final matchup. Stay tuned, of course, to our live, free-to-view or on-demand streams. We'll be bringing you Yogo Benito from Berlin versus Friesgoes of France in the mixed division, coming right up. Myself on the call with Benjamin Rees, who's just appeared in our commentary rooftop. It's like a penthouse suite up here, I swear. But that's it. Bringing us you more action in a few moments from the mixed division. We'll see you on the other side.
We believe mixed is the best for the sport, for the world. That's why we're making a global showcase, starting in Europe, made in Amsterdam. ULTI.TV. ULTI.net.
ULTI.TV, EBUCC lyrical.
Vielen Dank. Merci beaucoup.
ULTI.TV.